Good afternoon. My name is Sophia Pinto Figueroa. I'm the Associate Dean of Undergraduate Education in the School of Arts and Sciences. And with me today, I have.
Hi, I'm Laura Triano. I am the Dean of the Honors College and a faculty member in History and American Studies.
We are here today to provide information on our Summer Undergraduate Research Fellowship, SURF, application, which has gone live and we are hoping that you are preparing for. We are going to provide you with some information that will allow you to successfully complete the application if it is something that you are interested in being considered for this year. To start, in order to apply, you are going to be directed to our scholarship portal, which you see on the screen right now. The scholarship portal is live for the 26-27 academic year, and you can access the portal and log in with your NetID and password. We've included the link to the website on the page. You also should have received an email with the link to the scholarship portal. You can also use the tinyurl.com/SASN scholarship link to access the portal. This is the portal that you will use to either apply for SASN merit scholarships for the upcoming academic year and to also be considered for the Summer Undergraduate Research Fellowship. So on the screen now, you will see what a version of this when you submit your NetID and password to that website we just shared. There are three different options that you can pursue. The first option is you can click to just apply for merit scholarships. That's the first link there you see. You can select the second option, which is to apply for the Summer Undergraduate Research Fellowship only. Or if you want to be considered for both, you would select the third option. The third option will allow you to apply for both merit scholarships as well as the Summer Undergraduate Research Fellowship. So moving on, if you are still interested in applying for the Summer Undergraduate Research Fellowship, we are going to go over the eligibility, the criteria, and what is expected for you to submit as part of your application. So first, in terms of the eligibility, you must be enrolled in the Newark College of Arts and Sciences or University College in the School of Arts and Sciences here at Rutgers-Newark. You must have a minimum of a 3.0 GPA, and you must have already completed or will have completed at least 30 credits at the time of your application being submitted. Funding is available for this summer. Please keep in mind that this opportunity is highly competitive as we are only able to select a handful of students. The total amount of the award, if selected, is $3,200. The research opportunity is to support scholarly or creative research activities that you will be participating in during the summer. It must be in collaboration and with the supervision of a full-time faculty member here in the School of Arts and Sciences. Successful applications should propose what work you are intending to complete during the summer as part of this research application. It should result in or contribute to a substantial finished product. For example, you might be working on a thesis, a manuscript that you anticipate being published, presenting or producing a creative work, but this should all be tied into independent work that you're completing, again, in collaboration with a faculty member, and there should be an anticipated final product as part of your vision for this research work. That final product does not necessarily need to be finished by the end of the summer. but there should be information in your application that outlines when you anticipate all of the work being completed. Once you submit your application, selected recipients will be notified by mid to end of May so that you can anticipate the work that you'll be doing over the summer. So as mentioned, if you are looking to apply, you would submit the SURF application using the scholarship portal by Monday, May 4th. Please know that there are no extensions to that deadline. Monday, May 4th is the absolute deadline for submitting your SURF application. A SURF application is considered complete when it has been submitted online and should include your research proposal, which we're going to cover in a second, a copy of your unofficial transcript, your unofficial Rutgers transcript, and you will also need to include the name and email address of the faculty member that will be working with you on this research project. Your faculty member will then get a link via email so that they can submit a reference letter by May 11th supporting your SURF application and also further explaining the project that you will be working on with them. Again, May 11th is the deadline for the faculty member to submit their reference letter, and there are no extensions to that deadline as well. So as you're working with a faculty member on your application, please make sure you remind them that they will be anticipated to submit a reference letter by May 11th. I am now going to turn it over to Dr. Troiano so she can go a little bit more in depth about what is expected in your research proposal.
So I wanted to stress a couple of things. So I have been on the selection committee for SURF over the past couple of years. So I have seen a lot of these proposals. I've also served as a faculty advisor for this project before. So I've had a lot of experience with SURF. So I just want to you guys can read this yourself, but I want to point out a couple of things that I've seen as common issues with your SURF proposal applications. One is sometimes you do not answer all of the questions that you see here. It is important that you tell us what your project is, but also give us some explanation as to how it fits into the larger, broader field. How does it build on other work? What does it actually look like? What is your methodology? How is this feasible and what is a projected timeline? I'm going to go over the supplementals in a second, but is this a possibility both within the work you're doing over the summer and then where you are going to take this work afterwards if it's not going to be finished at this point? Some of you will submit very complicated technical proposals. I have read them and I sometimes am confused as to what your project actually is. We're not asking you to dumb down your project or not use the appropriate jargon or terminology that's connected with your project, but make sure that anybody could understand at least the basic premise of your project. And make sure that when you are going through this proposal and you're working with your faculty member, it's important that this process is collaborative, both in the proposal process and obviously in the when you're doing the work over the summer, that they are able to be a sounding board for you in making sure that this is readable to a larger audience. This is going to be equally as important when you are going to be asked to present this project at Research Week, which I'll get to in the next slide, because people from outside your discipline are going to be engaging you in conversation. So you want to be able to make sure that this is legible for someone who is not in your field, and that the purpose and value of this work is at the heart of this. So if you're doing something that is very technical, I need to understand what is the value of that in layman's terms. So we go to the next slide. Okay. So in this process, it'll be laid out for you in the proposal process, each one of these elements that you're supposed to take care of in the proposal. I have seen people who have taken great care in their proposal process. They're really well thought out. They've made sure that they proofread. They've obviously run through this with their advisor. This is what you want in terms of your proposal. Proposals that look half-baked are not going to get you very far. This is, as we have already stated, this is a highly selective process. But if I see that you have not taken any care in doing your proposal, I'm not going to think that you're going to take very much care in doing this project. Or if you're like this project, I'm in a lab, it's going to run, I don't need to spend time in the proposal process. That is an incorrect assessment. You need to be very thoughtful in the proposal process and make sure that it's done well, it's formatted well, all the elements are included, and that it's very easy for us to read as we go through the proposal process. Make sure as you are working with your faculty member that they are able to also explain your project and their contribution to that project, including how frequently you're going to meet with one another. This is an independent project, and there's an expectation that you will be able to, do this project, but you are supposed to be doing it in collaboration with a faculty member. That means you don't check in with them at the beginning of the summer, at the end of the summer. You want to make sure you're having an ongoing conversation and that they are aware that that is the expectation for this project. Oftentimes, some students think like we engage a faculty member, they said yes, and we're going to kind of do our own thing and we'll tell the faculty member what that is. That is not a good plan. A good plan is to make sure that you're clear in your expectations of what you are going to do in the summer and that you are clear in what the faculty member is going to contribute to you over the summer, that they're going to be present and that all of these things are going to seamlessly work together so that you could produce a high quality project at the end. So make sure that that is reflected in your timeline and that is also reflected in the reference letter from the faculty member. Obviously, you want to make sure that you have a clear budget as to what you are going to plan to do your stipend and your research for. And as I again expressed, that there's a clear timeline about what is going to happen in the summer for you, for your faculty member, what the research is going to look like, and if this is part of a larger project, what the anticipated timeline is for the last part of the project.
So to talk a little bit about the timeline, we want to just go through this a little bit more in depth so you're clear about expectations related to the SURF process. As was already mentioned, May 4th is the deadline for you to submit the online SURF application, which will include the proposal, the unofficial transcript, and the name and email address of your faculty research advisor. After that, we will have the committee review all submissions, and we anticipate sending out a notification letter before the end of May. So our goal is to send out a notification, whether you've been accepted or not, before the end of May. And if accepted, your notification letter will include specific dates related to what is expected over the summer. So as was already mentioned, the anticipation is that you will work with your research faculty advisor, if selected, over the course of the summer. One requirement will be to submit a mid-summer report during the month of July. Again, you'll get the official dates if selected. That midsummer report will be a brief progress report on the work that you've completed to date. And once that midsummer report is submitted, you will receive $1,100 as part of the fellowship payment. Then, again, you are anticipated to continue to do your work over the summer. At the end of August, there will be the expectation that you submit a summary of the work completed during the summer, as well as your plans to continue the work during the academic year. Your research faculty advisor must also submit a brief final evaluation at the end of August. Your faculty member is expected to be able to articulate what you have been doing over the summer, what you have accomplished, their feedback, and their evaluation of you and the work that you've been doing. So that will also be expected to be submitted at the end of August. Once both you and your faculty advisor submit the final summer report, you will then get a second fellowship payment of $1,100, again at the end of August into September, based on when the submission is reviewed. The third and final piece of this is that you are expected to complete a poster and present your research during the Rutgers-Newark Research Week, which would be in the spring of 2027. I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Troiano so she can talk a little bit about that research symposium.
So Research Week often happens the first or second week in April. All honors college students who are completing their thesis are required to present, but we've opened up Research Week to any undergraduate or graduate student who is doing substantial research who wants to present. We offer a poster template. You will present your work in that poster template. We have a workshop in how that template will come together, and you will be expected to, on a Wednesday during free period, stand next to your poster and engage with the Rutgers community, parents, faculty members, a whole host of folks, alumni, donor, many people come to Research Week to engage you in your scholarship. So you need to be prepared to have your elevator pitch ready to go. Make sure, again, it is legible to a larger audience, and to be excited about showing off the work that you've done. One thing that I want to stress that I did not yet is research is not limited to folks in the STEM fields. Anybody can participate in Research Week. There is a substantial amount of research that we all do in all of our disciplines. So I don't want you to feel that because you are not in a lab, that you would not qualify for Research Week. In fact, I would happily engage students who are in an archive, who are curating exhibits, making photo essays. There's a lot of ways in which we engage in scholarly research, and I want to make sure that you know that you are not limited because you are not doing something in the STEM field.
Thank you, Dr. Triano. And once that's completed, you will receive the final fellowship payments of $1,000. So altogether, it will be a $3,200 fellowship stipend, but it will be disseminated to you in the form of 3 payments as you're completing the work that is part of this project. The last thing we want to mention is how to contact us. So as you're completing your application, if questions come up, you can contact us at schlshp@newark.rutgers.edu. That is the official SASN scholarship email if you have questions related to your SURF application or general questions regarding merit-based scholarships offered by the School of Arts and Sciences. A few reminders. Again, the SURF application is due May 4th. The school scholarship application is June 22nd. So if you decide that you're not going to continue and not submit a SURF application, you may still be eligible to be considered for merit scholarships, but you must complete the application by June 22nd. We highly recommend applying for both. So if you are interested in applying for both the SURF and for merit scholarships, please select that on the scholarship portal and submit the entire application by May 4th. Again, if you have any questions, you can reach out to us via the email address provided. For honors college students, I'm sure Dr. Triano would also be very happy to answer questions as you are going through the process. So feel free to reach out to her directly if you also have any questions. We look forward to reading your submissions and welcome any questions that you have along the way. Thank you very much.